Nahoana Tsiresy ny anarako. Ankizy teny amoron-dalana taloha toy izao ny fiainako. Na tonga teny an-dalana de nisy fotoana nisy olona voendaka. De io olona io nampino dadanay de za avy nianatra de nisy namako tena namako be mihitsy very. Nangalary mipangalajaza de tonga tao an-trano le olona nampino dadanay. Io olona io nefa any ambanivohitra Manoro mipetraka. De saika tsy nampianarin'ny dadanay tamin'io de niteny le olona hoe ndeo etiko any ambanivohitra fa any milama sady tsisy mpangalajaza any. De noentiny de omby tany tsy nampianariny fa nampipino kisoa, omby, nandeha ny taona, nandeha ny volana de teo ihany mbola nampijaliany de efa saika efa niteny le zanany hoe andana mitsoaka. De mbola tsy nitsoaka ihany efa natahotra anazy. De farany any tapa-kevitra nangalatra vola iray alina tao aminjareo. De lasa nitsoaka hoe ataoko foreko andeha hody de tonga tao Manoro tao misy namako zay koa avy tany ambanivohitra tao Manoro. De tao aloha mipetraka. De nakany amin'ny président zay maraina apitso maraina ny tongavako. De avy tany amin'ny président zay de niteny président hoe eto any polisy. De anaovana pitapita de tonga Antananarivo. De nakany zay de aika le madama le vadin'le olona efa nitory. De niantso le commissaire niantso an'le namako hoe mba ilaina anafana problème mba efahako miakatra aty Antananarivo. De le namako aloha nampidirin'le commissaire voalohany tao mipiraohany. De avy eo izaho de nitantaraiko tamin'le commissaire tao daholo ny zavatra nahazo anahy. De nitsoriko marina nangalatra an'le iray alina nitsoakako. De nampidirina amin'izay le madama. De tsy haiko izay nanaovan'ny commissaire anazy tao. De jareo nampitohana amin'ny firehako fa niteny le commissaire tsy mety ny zaza tsy ampy taona ny ampiasaina ohatr'izany fa zaza ampianarina ny nangalanareo ny zaza tany Antananarivo. Afaka herinandro an'iny amin'izay no men'jareo le firehako de nalevan'jareo taty Antananarivo de tonga. De mipetraka tany amin'ary dadanay. Mipetraka telo volana tao amin'ny dadanay de maty ny dadanay. De zany na tonga na teny amoron-dalana. Ndray andro mba nahita olona mivorivory teo amin'ny parking Antananarivo eo ambanin'ny zaridaina. De nanantona de teo nahafantarako ny 2400 sourire. De niresaresahany zareo de avy eo zay zokinay niresahany zareo hoe alainy. Ny alakamisy n'iny ihany zay de nalainy. Zao de tsy ankizy ny lalana intsony fa faniraisiny zareo an-tanana zao mipetraka ato an-trano. Etoany zareo daholo ny zavatra rehetra izay tokony ilainao. Misakafo tsara, madio tsara amin'izao fa tsy ohatsin'le ankizy teny amoron-dalana taloha intsony amin'izao. Zao miaraka mipetraka amin'ny zokinay sy ny zanany. Zay efatra zao mipetraka atao amin'ity trano ity. De ary tena manana tokantrano sambatra mihitsy zay ato. De ny tadiavan'ny zareo fianarana tena aingana de nampianarin'ny zareo mekanika de ampianarin'ny zareo cours de français koa amin'izao. Toy izay ny tantarako sy ny ahafantarako ny 2400 sourire. Saotra nareo ny hainao na mandra-peo.
Tsiresy's story is unfortunately not only one of its kind, and many data collected on childhood circumstances speak for themselves. When we started the Smiles Adventures, the UNICEF declared that there were 2,400 children in the streets of the capital. This was mentioned in a report released in December 2018. 5 years later, today, this number has increased to 24,000 children. Week after week, we are eyewitnesses of the rise in the number of children present on the streets. We have to face precarious situations that no child should have to be confronted with. Every child we follow closely are all behind in growth. Some 3-year-old infants lack in muscle tone and aren't able to walk properly. Bloated tummies due to nutrition deficiency are quite common, as are scars on both the children's body and face. How much deeper are the emotional scars they bear, which can only be reflected on their faces? While waiting for the village, each week we work beside them to start profound work that often seems invisible. Each evening, we work to create milestones for these children, which allow them to adjust themselves in life. Henceforth, our wonderful team are working to teach them social norms, allowing the children to discover the importance of hygiene, respecting others, shifting from physical violence to dialogues. The nights are built around rules they're familiar with, allowing us to structure each intervention. And yes, working with children can sometimes feel like sport. It's a way for them to learn to respect rules. For the children who always turn towards physical aggression can slowly change their countenance, their gaze, their reflexes. During this night, we are happy to offer a simple yet effective care. Starting with a roll call, the night is followed by a learning of social ways, games, a medical visit, and finally, our famous kuba, a meal rich in nutrients, especially made for nutrient-deficient children. Since we love surprising these children, we often create a bit of a break, allowing each of these smiles to escape for a moment. Each evening is significant as the children's distress are still, unfortunately, very real. It is gut-wrenching for the team to leave them in the cold and obscure car park.
Je suis très admirative du courage des enfants dans la rue qui se battent et qui ont un quotidien extrêmement difficile. Ils sont très forts, très courageux et on est très reconnaissant de pouvoir les aider. Quand on vient les aider dans la rue, c'est un moment de plaisir pour nous parce qu'on les aide, mais en même temps c'est un déchirement de se dire qu'ils ont un quotidien qui est horrible et une vie qu'on n'imagine même pas. Mais quand on est avec eux, ils ont toujours le sourire, ils sont toujours heureux et c'est toujours un plaisir pour nous, même si c'est très difficile de leur dire au revoir et de se dire qu'après ils retournent dans la rue alors que nous on retourne dans notre vie.
It's as if the dark void of the night reminds you of their fingers, this abyss in which the children vanish at the end of the evening. But we hope that soon this will be no more. Removing these children from the streets long term can only happen behind school desks. Access to education is a true exit to these children's crises, yet not the only one. Being street children, often they're either orphaned or with jobless parents, and schooling in the streets is simply impossible. This is where the children's village takes on its purpose. To build a place where the memories of the streets will no longer disturb the children's futures. The vision for the Village des Sourires rests upon 4 pillars, offering a roof over their heads, giving them a proper schooling, liberating the child through sports and art, and finally, establishing balance. Its 4 pillars will allow the children to reinvent themselves with dignity and to enter into a future permanently off the streets. Almost a year ago, we happily initiated the village's construction. Our objective, creating a peaceful environment where the children grow up dignified with sustainable care. Therefore, the construction of the living site started with securing the place. We've also been working to access water, for neither water nor electricity are present on the site. Located on the outskirts of the capital, our village will need to be completely self-reliant. Solar panels for electricity, solar pumps and water towers for water induction, and a biodigester to produce our own gas. Today, building this living base comprises of an entrance gate, a technical room, a workshop, a canteen, as well as a sports and administrative hall. The first sanitary block is still being built, and soon we'll have our first house. Making a house without the living site is simply impossible. The logistics wouldn't have been present, thus it was crucial to first deal with the ensemble of buildings. We are in the starting stages and eagerly await the arrival of the first child into the village. But for this to happen, we need to be patient and work harder. This past year has also been marked by a number of volunteers who joined us for certain periods of time, from 2 weeks for some to 6 months for others. We felt incredibly encouraged by the visits of these Smiles friends, all in their own unique way, kindled change, gave hope and smiles. Today, our family and the whole association wishes to thank you for your support. The reality of the field is often difficult and our daily lives have been perturbed several times. Your presence and the eyes of the children that count on us helps us to keep pushing through. Thank you, and know that the doors of the village are wide open for you. The mission is great, and the questions are many and will undoubtedly remain numerous. That love, one smile, one act, caring, can change one life story. So then, dear friends, remember this phrase which has carried us thus far and can also be of comfort to you. Love always saves.